Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for checking in again. Today we're getting started. A lot's been going on, but today we're getting started to build some goat pens and an area that we're going to keep goats. You guys are familiar with this back portion of my property. This is where our chickens are at, but we're actually going to put a fence and cut this area in half where my chickens can occupy all this, where our fruit trees are. And then over on this side is where we're going to put our goats. We're getting some goats. Some friends of ours are unfortunately coming into a situation where they're needing to get rid of their mature goats, and so we're fortunate enough to be able to take advantage of that situation. So in just a few days, by surprise and complete shock, we're getting 2 goats for milking that we will have for goat milk here. We've had this milk before, and we've worked with these goats before, so we're familiar with all of this, and we're really excited to be having it ourselves on our homestead to produce for ourselves. So starting back here, we've set up, it's a really warm day today, so we got an easy up to provide us some shade. We got a fan going, misting us and stuff, but come back here underneath the tent. So this green post back here is where we are going to install a large railroad tie. And so we're gonna cheat a little bit, and we're using the gas powered auger. That's gonna do most of the work around here. This soil is pretty forgiving actually. It's a lot of clay and silt, so it's not too difficult to dig. It's not like out at our big property where it's lots of rock and all that digging is terrible, as some of the other videos have shown. But we're gonna run this fencing that we've got from here straight down, and you can see, and if you follow me down, this is my shed, and we're gonna go to the corner of this shed. So we're likely to end up losing this young tree. I might try to put some fencing around it so that I can let it grow big. That'll be my goal, but this will be inside the goat area, so I know it's at risk. This one is not, and none of this should be. So the fence is going to come right in between these trees. And I've been collecting pallets, as many as I could find. I'm going to use pallets to build my walls, as well as maybe some climbing toys for the goats and things. But right here is where that other side of that fencing is going to connect to. So if you turn around, you'll see where we started. The fence is just going to run straight down that way and then come straight back and connect here. And then on this side of our shed, we've got some materials. Back of my truck is full of other materials that we're going to use. So we found some, they call it rainbow roofing panels. So you don't get to pick your color, you take right off the top of the stack, but it comes pretty low cost. So we've picked up some metal roofing panels, and I'm going to build just a really simple lean-to off the side here. This front area is just going to be where the goats are going to go housing. My roofing panels are 8 feet long, so it's going to come out about 8 feet, and this will provide a nice shady area. I'll probably half wall the front so that it, you know, gives them a place where the wind doesn't blow in the rain when that's coming down hard. They can be in the shade at all hours, and just a nice place for them to stay. And then this is all kind of their play and feeding ground area. And then the back side, I'm actually going to build that as like a separate room, also undercover. Sorry, little chickie. Where that is where we'll keep the hay, and that'll be our milking parlor, where I'm going to build a milking stand, and we'll take the goat in there for doing that. And then the fence will come off this front corner of that enclosure and continue down to connect to our other fencing there. So this will be their entire area. And then this backside over here will actually be fenced off from the goats and the chickens and everything. I've got my garden space down there, and I'm actually trying to source some nice stainless steel commercial kitchen, just like a sink top or a small table or something that I can set over here. And this will be where we do kind of our butcher work, where we take care of our meat birds and any work like that we're going to do for processing our animals. So I'll have a nice area that I keep and use just for that, and some nice commercial equipment we'll leave out there. And so hopefully between the shade that we build here, as well as our big mesquite tree here, there'll be lots of shade, and then we'll build in some little toys and stuff. But that's what we're kind of working on today, is just getting these big railroad ties in the ground. These are going to be kind of the corner post for holding up that fencing. So I'm going to go through and I'll show you guys some other shots as we move along this process, and let you see how it's coming along. All right, so here we are back on day 2. Day 1 definitely did not go as expected with those posts. All clay. We're not digging up any rock, but it is just hard packed clay. So we took some old tricks and threw some water in there, and it did not drain very fast, and so we went ahead and filled the holes we were able to dig. We got about a foot down. I filled those holes with water. We left it all afternoon yesterday, all night last night. Most of that water went down, and it allowed us to get down. We're down about 26 inches on this pole. We're down about 3 feet on that pole over there. I did decide not to use the railroad ties because it was just so hard to do. We did go with 4x4 posts, but I'm gonna put in the supports to anchor them. And today we've been running the T-post, as you can see, coming all the way down from the shed, and then all the way down here. We just put the last one in, and this here is the post. So if you come over here, we put a big lag bolt in that ties this into our 4x4, and this 4x4 is down about 2 feet in the ground. This one's down about a foot in the ground, and that's what's holding this, and this is what's going to anchor for the fencing that we pull across. The fence is similar to this. It's a little bit thicker gauge, and I think the squares might be slightly larger, but it's very similar to this. It's 5 feet tall fence, so I've run this string right at my shoulder at about 5 feet. It's interfered a little bit on the tree here, but not much. It's just pretty good. Here, let me see the camera, bud. And so as we turn around, you can see all the posts that go down there. It's a little over 100 again today. It's real hot, and so you can see we're using the easy up, and we just travel along with us. We got chairs, we take breaks, and we're putting these posts into the ground. I got my little mister fan there. Hopefully it didn't hit the camera and get it all wet. And so you can see these T-posts are in a line with that string that go all the way down to the corner of my shed here. And then I'll show you what we got done on this other post. Sorry for all the movement, I'm walking. And so over here you can see we have this other post, and this one, that's an 8-foot post. It's in the ground pretty close to 3 feet. I mean, that thing is buried deep. If I come over here and stand with it, I mean, you can see it's less than me by a few inches, and I'm about 6 feet tall. So it's in about 2.5 feet. That should be a great anchor point. And so this fence here will keep them in from my neighbor's yard. This year we'll go across and meet up with the shelter we're building off the lean-to shelter we're building off the shed there. And all of this will be the goat roaming area. And then over here, sorry for all the spinning, this is where the lean-to will be, and the front side again for their shelter facing out. And I'm gonna tie the fence from that post over to the corner of the lean-to, which should be right in here somewhere, coming off of that, and then open for them. So that's the plan. And then this whole area here that's not going to be open to them, I have my water spigot there, so this is all used for like prepping, and like I said, we'll use this for processing our meat birds and things. So a little bit of a work area. Of course, my garden's over there as well. So that's kind of the update that we have for now. I'll get you another update later, bring you back in and show you what we've done. So here's the roll of fencing that we've got here. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. These pallets, I scored some really big pallets from some great friends of mine. These pallets here, they're about a little over 4 feet wide and a little over 7 feet long. And so I'm just gonna stand them up and screw them together with like a 2x4 and use that as my wall. And then that way I don't have to do a bunch of structure for the wall. It'll allow wind and air to move through, but it won't allow, you know, sun. It'll block and give them some shade and block for the for any rain as well. And then I've got some metal panels. I just picked these up from a place, a manufacturer. They have remnants of scrap, things where the paint gets scratched or a corner gets dented, and they sell it as a discounted cost if you're not picky about color. So I picked those up, and so yeah, we're moving along. We're doing okay so far, and I'll show you more later when we get there. All right, guys, here we are at the start of day 3. I actually been working out here for, I don't know, about an hour or so. Sun's been up for a little bit, not too long, about an hour and a half. So to show what we did yesterday real quick, so you can see we've got the fencing all in. It's you know, maybe not the tightest or straightest thing, but for a couple of first-time amateur yahoos, I think we pulled it off. It actually seemed to go easier than I expected. We didn't get it pulled as tight as I wanted, mainly because well, I should have showed you that first, but back here, let me walk back over here, sorry guys. This post is what I was using to pull against. You can see my come along down there on the ground. And so that post is what I pulled against, and as you can see, we've pulled it in from the corner of the shed a few inches. So I didn't want to pull it any tighter than that, but it is pretty tight. I'm happy with it. I'll find out if it's not tight enough, I guess. That's the way I keep looking at it and keep telling myself. So chickens are all out having a happy morning. I'm about to scare them, unfortunately, but so there's a little bit of flex in this fence, but there's not a lot. Like, you could WWF yourself off this thing for sure. Not that I think we should, but it come out pretty good. I think it's tight enough, you know, for a goat fence, and it runs the whole way. We don't have that bottom down there pulled totally tight yet. I got to get the come along down here, and I just need to grab the bottom of it, tighten it out that way, and then I'll nail the bottom down to the cross pleating. So this is still holding up. I didn't put nearly as much pressure on this thing I was thinking I was going to. It leans back just a tiny bit, which I had intended to leave, thinking that when I pulled it taut, it was going to pull that post in, but it really didn't. So all I gotta do is, like I said, get it nailed right there to that cross beam, pull this fence over. But before I do that, I'm going to grab it down at the bottom, put something out there I can come along that way and pull that bottom string right there a little tighter, and then we'll nail it to that. It'll be good. That'll be it after that. So this will be their whole area, which is awesome, and the chickens still get their whole area. This here is all the bedding from our new egg layer batch, which are all over there. I'm sorry, I don't know how to zoom this particular camera, but happy as can be after their first morning on the ground. No losses. We're happy about that. So today, the goal here, and I'm having to get it done today because today our goats are showing up. So this has been kind of a rushed project. I just found out about a week ago that we were getting these goats, and I had to source all the materials and get things going. So here we are. Day 3 today is going to be finishing up this structure. So I've got this in place and this wall in place, and what our plan here is to again get a fence here running all the way across to that post right there that we've put up, and then this will be where the goats can go in to their little living shack to get them out of the sun or wind or rain. We're going to put metal roofing here. I found a great place not too far from here that offered rainbow stacks of their metal off-fall for pretty inexpensive. We picked that up. So they'll come in here. This will be their area, and then we'll have a wall here with another little opening here. We'll have a gate on where we can bring them in, and then this will actually be all open. I want this open, so if I bring in hay and things, we'll have a gate right here in the fence where we can bring things in. And this middle section is going to be where my hay storage is, and then over here is where we'll build the milking parlor. And the way that'll work is, again, there'll be a door right here that'll swing open that way to kind of block anybody from trying to escape out that way, and offer like a path through into the milking parlor section right over here. So there's the update. This is what we're doing today, and I'll bring you back and show you what we accomplished and what it looks like at the end of the day, and probably have our goats in the field. See you then. So today I'm going to show you what we finished yesterday, day 3 of getting our goat mansion finished here. I think it looks pretty good. Finished product. Let me step back here and show you. Got a whole lean-to off our shed now, some little corrals in there, and as I mentioned was the plan, this whole initial area can be fenced off, and so the goats aren't using this area. We have it open to them now, as we're hoping they're going to come through and eat all the weeds and gourds and kind of clean up the area here for us. But let me take you in here and show you what we got. So you can see we got metal roofing there on top. I've used some old pallets that were found locally. There's a solar farm going in not far from us, and they set all the pallets from the solar panels. You can see one there. They're very large, made with good material. That's what I've used for the walls here, is just those pallets. One pallet all the way across, made a great little wall there, and then an opening where I can be bringing in hay and stuff, and then another one there. This here are 2 of those pallets put together with a fence post. I'm not done. I haven't stretched or connected this fence yet. That's the only thing that's not done. It's just sitting there. But this here we can open up, and we have a back gate way back here that we can come in. This here can be opened and be able to drive straight through here. This gate opens, and that allows us access into our backyard. Or if we ever need the septic tank pumped or service, we have access. It'll also allow me to bring my truck all the way up to this gate, so when I have hay and stuff, it can go right into the hay storage. So in here we have, this is the one side. This is where the goats are going to be living and have their pen. In the winter we'll put hay down and stuff. I'm going to build like a door or a gate right here so that they are kind of locked into that area and have access to that whole area of our yard. And then again, this here they will not have access to once they finish eating all this down, and we'll use this area for other things. And so here I built a goat milking stand. It's pretty primitive for sure. Never built one before. Didn't exactly know, you know, the pros and cons of what makes a good one or what's helpful or not helpful. We used this for the first time last night, and it seemed to work out really good. So I guess I'm happy about that. A little bit of storage down there, keep a bucket for sitting on and whatnot, but it worked out really well. This here is just where the neck gets choked. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. I'm going to try. Here, I'll try to hold the video and do it. This will slide forward like that, and the neck, or the goat's neck, is in here. Their head sticks out on this side, and we put a bucket here where they just sit and eat some of the best food that they ever get while they're standing here being milked. So it worked out really good. And then when we're done, we just take and open up this. It just slides back and forth, and the goat comes through. There's plenty of room in there, lots of comfort for them. In fact, we've seen them jump up here already today a few times and just stand on the table. They put their heads through there, and that's how they say hi to us over the fence. So they're very comfortable up in there. They're not afraid of it at all, even though we have already locked them in and done a milking on it. So the stars of the show, here's one. This is Miss, let's see, we call her Cookie for short, but she is, get a little itch there, sweetheart. So this is Fortune Cookie. Hey, Fortune Cookie. So we have two mini Nubians, and they are in milk right now. She has only had one litter. She had 3 babies. So that's great news to us. So we're looking forward to that. We will have to get them pregnant again this fall in like October time. They will have their babies sometime in February, and those will be hopefully some more goats for us. So they're just happy as can be. Oh, she's actually gonna go eat a little hay. They haven't been eating much of the hay that we give them this morning because our yard has not had goats, and so there's lots of food around. And this here is Miss Delilah. Delilah's a little bit older. She's probably only gonna have babies one more time, and then she'll be done. But from what we hear, she loves being a mama, and she's very casted out, as you can see, from all the litters that she's had. So she had 3 babies just earlier this year as well. And so good mamas. We got experienced mamas that are in milk right now. So that's great. We get started right away. We're very grateful to some friends of ours that made this possible for us. They are going through some very unfortunate family circumstances and just needed a downsize. And we're willing to offer us these beautiful, friendly girls that, I mean, they're just so docile. We go up and feed them by hand and hold them and pet them, and they just love us. So this is going to be their area. They're loving everything. They've already been chomping all the mesquite beans off these few mesquite trees here, and I know they're going to go through and really do a number on all this stuff, and that'll be good for them. And then this fence that we put up, this was all part of the work we did, allows them access to this half of our yard, and then all of this over here is where the chickens live, and we've blocked this off from our goats mainly just because this is also where all of our fruit trees are, and so we don't want them getting in there and tearing up our fruit trees or our grapevines and all that stuff. So that's why we've separated this off. But yeah, in about 3 days we were able to get this whole fence put up and completely build all of this structure all from scratch. So we started on a Friday. And I worked a little bit on Friday, probably about 7-8 hours, and then on Saturday I only worked a couple hours on Saturday because we had some out-of-town guests that we took to Tombstone, which was a fun day. And then a little bit Saturday night we did some work, and then yesterday all day on Sunday I worked. So we got basically three days worth of work, and I've built this whole thing and fenced in this area and made an area for some goats who showed up late last night around 6:30. So that's the update. We're moving along. This is a really fun experience for us. We've never had animals. We now have a total of, I believe, right around 50 chickens. We have 4 turkeys and 2 milking goats. So even though this is the miniature homestead, we're not out on our 40 acres yet, but we're already getting started and doing the things that we wanted to do. That was all part of this goal, was to come out, be self-sufficient, and be in control of our own food supply. So as soon as I get a large, good, strong working garden, you know, if we're able to get offspring and have milk, have eggs, have chicken and red meat, and you know, we're really in control of a lot of our food supply. That's what we wanted. So hopefully in the spring I can get a really strong big garden going, and you know, we're really moving along with this goal. So that's great that we're on just this one land. It's just under an acre, and that's what we're doing with it. So we're excited to get out on our 40 acres, but this is just another step. I appreciate all you guys following along. Stay tuned. I'm going to be putting out a few more videos now that I've taken some time to learn a little bit of editing, which you've noticed in this video. So hopefully there'll be more to come, and I'll get a bit more regular now. So, but yeah, here's our latest update. We've got 2 milking goats and a whole area for them. So I appreciate you guys coming along. Hopefully you've enjoyed the update and the show. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Any ideas or questions about how I built any of this, what I used, or whatever, just drop me a line. I get back to every comment that I can. Also, something that we're working on, and maybe you guys can help. We've now split the yard into 2 sections, and we kind of want to name the 2 sections. So we got one area for our goats, the other side is for our birds, our chickens and turkeys and food plants. So we're trying to think of some cool ideas. We're thinking maybe some things here for the goats, something to show or name it. We're thinking maybe the Goat Mahal or the Taj Goat, something like that. Or I was just thinking maybe as simple as Home of the Goat. The greatest of all time lives right here. So so we're looking for some ideas to name our goat area, name our chicken area. So if you got some cool ideas, drop them below. And after I get a handful of different thoughts, maybe I'll put out a poll, a text poll, to find out what you guys think is the best. And who knows, maybe we'll go with some fun idea. That'd be sweet. And if I happen to pick a subscriber's idea, then I just might actually send something out as a thank you to say, hey, this was a fun idea, a great name, and we went with it. So stay tuned and be watching for those. And please do comment, like, and share, subscribe, do everything, and help us out here, guys. So thank you much. Tune in again. We'll see you again soon.